Hey guys, it's Philip here from Opes Trading Group, and today I'm going to show you how you can make over 6 figures a month using prop firms. 5% of you will make it to the end of this video, and 5% of that group will actually successfully apply what I'm about to say. So firstly, what are prop firms? Prop firms are businesses that are willing to invest in you if you're a successful trader. So you have to go through 2 phases of a challenge, or 1 phase depending on what firm you go with. You usually see a phase which is seen as some sort of a test, you could say, where they will test your skills to see if you're capable of succeeding as a trader. Once you can prove that you're a successful trader, they will fund you with an account where you will get to keep a certain percentage of your profits on that account. And the beauty of it is you carry no downside risk, meaning if you do take losses on the account, they are technically not yours. So you can trade an account with $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100K, and some can go much higher than that. So what we're going to look at here is how to use prop firms to your advantage to actually successfully make money and build your equity up until you are funded with well over $1 million. So now we're going to talk about passing your first initial account. So passing your first initial account, I'm going to talk from the example of 100K. So what you want to do is you want to start strategically by risking $500 a trade until you build the account up to 102,000. So now you have $2,000 as a buffer that you can work with. Once you've built to 102, you now up your risk to $1,000 per trade, and want to aim for about $6,000 of profit. So you're now on $106,000. Once you hit that number, you can now risk $2,000 on a trade. And you're usually going for, let's say, 1-to-1, 2-to-1, or 3-to-1 type of trades that will easily and gradually build your account up. So you've now reached 110K, which is passing of your phase 1, generally speaking, based on what prop firm you're going to be using. However, if you start with that 500, you are now minimizing your risk if you do start from a losing position, because you have to always think you're going to have some losers in your strategy and in your trading. So if you do go down, you're only going down $500, which is going to be very easy to rebuild with the next trade where you're risking once again 500. So generally speaking, traders shouldn't be having a long streak of losers, meaning that risking 500, even if you have 3 consecutive losses, you're now down 1,500. All it takes is 1 successful trade with a 3-to-1 risk to reward that will bring you back to that 100K mark, and you just restart that whole process over again. So what you want to do is you want to use proportional numbers depending on the account size that you are purchasing. For example, I just gave you the example on a 100K account. If you're doing a 200K challenge, you just have to double those figures that I just gave you. If you're doing a 50K challenge, all you have to do is divide it by 2, 25K, 20K, you just divide it and use proportional numbers according to the size of the account that you purchase. So once you've got your first account, what you want to do now is you want to use the profits of that account, and most prop firms are going to actually refund you the money that you paid for the actual challenge. So once you receive that money back, you take out your first withdrawal of profits. What you want to do is you want to use that money to then purchase your second account. So all you are initially risking to start off with is that one-time fee that will actually be refunded to you by the prop firm once you do pass. So you go for your second challenge, and what you want to do is apply the exact same set of rules. And this is where the whole idea of copy trading comes in. What you can do is there are systems out there that copy your trades with your stop losses, with your take profit, identical from one account onto another. And you can copy up to as many accounts as you purchase from that one main account onto all the others. So what you want to do now is you want to copy trade your main account that you're trading onto all the others and pass those challenges one after the other. So you use that copy trader in order to help you, 1, stay systematic with your strategy, 2, to stay psychologically fit for actually trading these accounts. So as your equity grows and the more accounts you pass, the more equity you're going to acquire and that you're going to have. And this is where psychology and mindset is going to kick in and come into play in full effect. So what you're going to need essentially is you're going to need a very systematic strategy that's going to allow you to actually get there. So let's say trading with my strategy, with my signals, with the service that I provide to my clients, I have an 80% win rate that I can show you and that my students have actually successfully used to pass their prop firm accounts as well. So you want to account for that 20% to actually be there. It's completely normal and you have to expect it. Now, when you're trading with a copy trader, trading across multiple accounts, when you take that 20% loss, it's not a big deal. And when you're taking those 80% worth of wins, they're going to help you to pass more challenges. And once you're funded, they're going to help you to actually build your profit exponentially across all accounts. So let's say you've now built your equity up to $1 million in funding, whether it's with 50, 100K, 200K accounts. Once you get to that $1 million in funding, this is where you're going to look at what you want to do. Assuming that you're allowed to risk $5,000 a day, your risk on $1 million account is now $50,000. However, we don't need to actually risk anywhere near that number. If we risk $5,000 to $10,000 across all these accounts, so we've got $1 million in funding, we're copy trading one account onto the other 9. If we risk 5,000 or 10,000 and we're going, let's say, for a 2-to-1 trade. So we are now profiting 10 to 20K a day across all these accounts. What we want to do is then multiply that by 5. So if we multiply that by 5 across the 5 trading days, that's, you could say, $50,000 to $100,000. However, we also have to account that not every day is going to actually be a winning day. So let's now say, once again, we've got those 20% of losers. So we've now dropped down to 40K to 80K a week. And you can now see how across 4 weeks, having 4 consecutive winning weeks, you are now well over that 6 figures in 1 month using these prop firm accounts. Now, one thing to remember is if it was so simple, everyone would be doing it. And this is why I said 5% of the 5% that made it up to this point in the video are actually going to successfully apply what I'm saying. Because once you start trading with these type of numbers, once you have that much equity under your belt, it's going to be psychologically difficult to actually maintain yourself as a trader and trade so systematically and so strictly with these rules and with the discipline. So this is where it's a whole new topic, a whole new mindset game, you could say, and psychological barrier that you're going to have to go through. And this is also where I teach a lot of my students through my mentorships on how to stay on the path and maintain their psychology day after day to do these kind of challenges and to do these kind of prop firms. So if you want to know more about what my favorite prop firms are, check the description below. I've got all the links to my favorite prop firms. I've got the links to my mentorships, my signal service that many of my students are actually using to pass these challenges on a day-to-day basis and to successfully profit from them as well.